spring break's quickly approaching. The U.S. government now warning Americans and any travelers really to think carefully before planning a vacation to Mexico.
While travelers have often been advised to stay in tourist areas and resorts for safety, officials are now seeing an uptick in violence and kidnappings in those areas, and they've been linked to drug cartels, some of which will spill across the border. For example, here's a look at a map of where some of the cartel arrests have taken place in this country since the beginning of 2022. There have been more than 60 cartel-related busts across the U.S., with at least 300 people arrested or charged. Our border correspondent Robert Sherman is live in El Paso, Texas this morning, right there on the border with more details. Robert?
Good morning to you all. And this is the reality that we're seeing here is just south of us in Mexico. There's been quite a bit of activity, much of it relating back to the cartels, which is why we are seeing the U.S. State Department re-emphasize some of its travel restrictions and guidance to Americans who might be heading there for the next couple of weeks over for the spring break holidays. And you look at the map of Mexico, there are 6 states in Mexico in which the U.S. State Department has issued do not travel guidance for. In addition to that, you also have a number of states, most of them right along the U.S.-Mexico border there, where the State Department says to reconsider travel. But even in the areas like Cabo and Cancun, notorious spring break destinations, well, the State Department says that you should exercise increased caution if you're making the journey over to those areas. And the reality is that it's been pretty busy in Mexico over the last couple of weeks. Some of that has been relating to the arrest of El Chapo's son in recent weeks, Ovidio Guzman. But it doesn't just end there. You see what's been going on over the last couple of days. A short while ago, a priest was killed in western Mexico. And then over in Tijuana, you actually had a concert canceled due to the threat of violence to take place in that area as well. So this is something that Mexico is seeing more and more. And talking to those who work in the security field, they say law enforcement just isn't making much of a difference right now. Take a listen.
The Mexican government has been largely ineffective in keeping cartel violence down. And there's a lot of corruption in Mexico among officials, not just police, although police corruption is a major issue. There have been entire local and even state level police departments completely disbanded because of their corruption ties to local criminal organizations.
And of course, those issues in Mexico, not new by any stretch of the imagination. You go back to 2018, more Americans were murdered in Mexico than all other countries in the world put together. Adrienne and Mitch.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.